Hello everybody, this is quixQuery. Welcome to a brand new series in the QuixPack. You can see we're having a few issues with the background and stuff. There's already been a patch out, and so I'm continually getting fixes and stuff for all of the different things that are going on in the pack, but we are starting up our actual survival series on this pack, and I'm hoping that this series will last a long time. And so, yeah, so we're in our single player world. I did a little bit of a live stream, and we spawned over there, and we just started coming up this way kind of toward the mountain, and found this little area right here, and it was actually quite nice. Don't have anything behind the wall. Sorry, it's not a spoiler wall or anything like that. But we've just been getting started, getting some basic stuff down. From some of my experience, I've already changed some of the things in the quest book, and in order to update our quest book, we actually have to type in /bq_admin default load, and that should reload our quest database and change it a little bit so that our stuff is in the proper place now instead of where it was before. And so we're just getting started here, and don't have very much, not a whole lot going on just yet. But we've opened some loot bags. We've got our Empower up from Actually Editions. We have a, where's our battery? Do we not have the battery on us? Where did the battery go? Okay, we have our inventory upgrade 4, which is super nice, and you can see it, one of them in our quest book right here, our advanced inventory slot. And so each of these, if we push the right button, will unlock one of these little 3x3s of additional inventory slots. And so each upgrade adds another one. And if we look at advanced, we can see that each one adds an additional advanced inventory slot that you can use. And you can also have some of the other different upgrades to make them do different things and stuff like that. But I haven't actually looked at all of that quite yet. And so we are, yeah, just here doing well, getting a lot of stuff done. And so yeah, just getting started. And I wanted to get started today a little bit on our base, which I wanted to put right around here. And so in order to do that, I am going to make some kind of funky looking walls, and I'm going to need a lot of this stuff called stone burnt. And for those of you who have been around for a while, stone burnt is this stuff right here. It's from Extra Utilities 2, is a decorative solid, and you get it from putting polished stone in a resonator, and you get polished stone from putting stone brick in a circle, like in a 2x2 like that. And that's from, because it's slightly different in this pack, we get that from polished stone, which is gotten from stone. And so today we want to set up something that will automatically produce all of that for us, just provided a little bit of power. And so we are going to get some stuff set up, but first I want to show you what's in the nether here. We have that is a baby skeleton. Yes, there are baby skeletons in the pack, but oh man, that's full. Snap. Okay. But in our Power RF quest line, actually, we should probably get that quest done. That's a new quest, and that's why it's hasn't recognized it, even though we have done the stuff required for it. And so, early game to transport power back and forth between the nether and the overworld, we gotta use these Energizer and Innervator. And so now the quest should update. There we go. Awesome. Completely taken care of. We just had to push the detect button. Probably could have done that without doing all of that, but anyway. Okay, so the Energizer, what it does, let's explain what these machines do, because right now I'm just kind of throwing you all into all of this. And so This is the Energizer, and we have a heat collector right here, and the cobblestone is blocking some infinite lava sources, because in this pack, infinite is lava in the nether. Lava is infinite in the nether, and so we can do something like this and not have to worry about continually supplying lava blocks to this thing. And so just some easy early power is essentially what this is. And so we can put our Energizer right there, and it will energize any batteries that we put in there, or other chargeable items. So yeah, good stuff. And the innervator does the exact opposite. It takes the energy out of the battery and puts it into surrounding machines and stuff like that. So, good stuff. Good stuff. So, that's our basic little infrastructure at the moment. So, yeah. We also have some Inferium stuff going on up here, and for those of you who don't know, that is from Mystical Agriculture. It is essentially the Minicio equivalent, and if you don't know what Minicio is, then you're probably a little new to modded Minecraft, and that's absolutely fine. But, yeah. And so this is like the Mystical Agriculture is like the magical crops for 1.10 and above, and so these are our Tier 3 Inferium seeds. We've been doing just a little bit of work getting that stuff all put together, and these are seed reprocessors, and since we get a bunch of extra seeds from all of this, we put the extra seeds into the seed reprocessor, and that gives us extra essence per seed that we put in there. And so, yeah, really good stuff. Helps improve the amount of stuff we are getting from each of these significantly each time we harvest it, and so it's practically doubling it with the Inferium stuff. So good stuff. Good stuff. And right now we just have our supply of Inferium in there. Pretty simple. Yeah. So the first and most obvious thing we need in order to produce this stone burnt in mass quantities is a resonator. And so the resonator is just some iron, redstone, resonating redstone crystal, and a block of coal. Need a bit of coal, but other than that, we should have everything we need for this. And so that is our resonator. Now, the thing about this resonator, let's just set it down right here, is that it takes grid power and in order to do the things that it wants to do. And so we need some grid power up and running in order to use this resonator. And so let's get into the extra utilities grid power real quick. It's pretty simple. I don't think there are any quests for it because it's so simple. And so all we need to do is, let's see here. Water mills are the best ones. Those require stone burnt to begin with. And in order to get stone burnt, we can just make a manual mill right here. So that's pretty simple. Let's actually start smelting some stone right now so we can get this stuff going. This is a powered furnace from Actual Editions. Just two things going at once. Pretty simple. So take that, that gives us that, that gives us that, that gives us that. Awesome. So that's our polished stone that we need for the recipe. Mill. Yes, the manual mill. Awesome. So now we have some sticks, we have some redstone, we need some more of those. Awesome. And now we need some planks still. There we go. And here is our manual mill. We only want one manual mill. And so this will generate the grid power we need. to power our resonator over there. You can see that that has already turned one into... Grid is overloaded. So we've already turned one into stone burnt, and with our furnace running right here, can easily, let's grab two more, get a bunch of this stuff that we need. And so that should be a simple automation to set up just some crafters and this thing right here once we have some actual what's it called set up, some actual grid power set up. Awesome. Here's our water mill, and for that, here's our water bucket. Okay, we just need to set this up somewhere, potentially a little bit away from everything. Let's just set it up in the ground right here. So we want flowing water on all sides of this, and so we want to do something like this and put some water on the other side as well. Let's just go and grab some right here. And that should produce the grid power we need to run this resonator constantly, hopefully. Okay, it looks like everything is going well. How much? That's generating 16, and so we could actually put a speed upgrade in our resonator right here, and it would work faster. And that is definitely something we're going to look at, but for the moment, I actually want to look back into our quest book at the Extra Utilities 2 Mechanical Crafter. It automatically crafts things, and so we're going to use it in our little system right here in order to, automate it, so that the stone burn is being produced automatically instead of us having to manually put it in, and so on and so forth. So the crafter from Extra Utilities 2, the mechanical one is the good one, resonating redstone crystal, a dropper, and a crafting table. That's pretty easy. And we are missing our resonating redstone crystal. There we go. There's our crafter. That gives us the quest, and claim the reward for that. Let's actually see what's in here. Ooh, compressed cobble and fertilizer. Good stuff. Good stuff. So this auto crafter actually does apparently take grid power, but what we want it to do, and this is the one closest to the resonator, so so we want it to take stone brick and craft it into that, like so. Ta-da! Polished stone comes out. Awesome. Hold up. If we take this up, will it automatically put the stuff into the other thing? Let's get some more stone smelting up. Okay. It does not appear so. This just, the polished stone just stays in there. It does not add on to this stack whatsoever. So we're going to have to rethink this system just a little bit. See if we can get some sort of item piping. Nothing too fancy, because there is some other item piping that I want to get into for mechanism, but we are not quite to the point of getting to mechanism just yet. We will get there, though, for sure. Let's sleep here real quick. Okay, let's actually worry about the yeah, no, let's look at the item piping. What other sorts of item piping do we have? I know we have the mechanism stuff, and we have the laser relays from Actually Additions. So let's look at the Actually Additions laser relay. I wonder if they have a filter, actually. hold up. No. I know what to use. We're using extra utilities for everything else, right? Why not just use the transfer nodes? Perfect. Okay. That is transfer node and an anvil. That's awesome. So a transfer node is just transfer pipe, which is just the stone slabs. So pretty simple. Let's make some of this stuff up and get back. Okay, so here is the test. We got some transfer node down, transfer node action down, and so this is a filter with the polished stone that goes into the resonator to create stone burnt. Yeah, you can see that's how the recipe goes. Pretty simple. So we're going to put the stone brick into here, and it gets piped out of here slowly but surely and into our resonator right here. And this is just some simple automation so we can get the fence up. Nothing that's going to be super duper complicated or anything like that, or super end game or permanent either. So we just want to get this set up so that we can get this whole fence down. Fence type thing that I want to do. And so yeah, so that's one auto crafter. Now we need more for the other steps, and so to make that we need to craft the stone brick. And to craft the stone brick we need to craft the other stuff. So that's okay. So that's 1 for this step right here, 2 for this step right here. And then we need to smelt it. So 2 more crafters and smelt it a little bit. So this is all fine and dandy so far. We have everything set up. This is our powered furnace that we actually took from over there, and we need to provide power to, but we're going to worry about that in a little bit here. For the moment, the next thing we need is something to consistently provide this with cobblestone so that this will continuously run. And so, continuous supply of cobblestone continuously run. And so, in order to get continuous supply of cobblestone, we're going to look at tiny progressions. They have a whole series of cobblestone generators right here. And so, yeah. Pretty simple, easy to upgrade, etc. And so we just need a bucket of water and a bucket of lava. And so I think we have another bucket around here. There it is. Awesome. And so we are going to go snag a bucket of water and a bucket of lava and be right back to craft this thing up. Voila! We have our cobblestone generator. And so we want to put this on top of there and transfer node out of there into the furnace. So now the furnace is running. We want auto split on so that it will be able to keep up really easily. And that will craft into that stuff, which then gets filtered into this, which then gets crafted into stone bricks into here, etc., until we are all the way just down to our resonator. It then gets pulled out, the stone burn then gets pulled out of the resonator and put into the chest right here. So, yeah. Pretty simple system, just some basic automation that we've set up so that I can actually get to building right away and start getting this base set up. And so, yeah, just some basic stuff. Now we need to worry about running power to this, because right now it is in the middle of doing stuff, and we can upgrade this eventually. The next tier just requires some iron around it, so that is super simple to upgrade. Iron, then diamond, then blaze rods, and then emeralds, so pretty easy. And so we just need to provide that power. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our quest book right here and go under Power RF and look at our laser relays right here. Now this quest requires 16, and that is, as I actually now understand it, a lot. And that is not what I wanted the quest to be like. I just wanted it to be kind of like a bare minimum of sorts, and then but that was before I realized that they only needed to be connected at the ends and not necessarily the middle. Is like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking cable numbers, and that's what ended up being typed, and so that will be changed in the next patch. But the laser relay. Okay, so this stuff right here, we need some blocks of redstone, redstonia crystals, advanced coil, and some obsidian. Super simple to craft up. Redstonia crystals are just redstone and a atomic reconstructor, and advanced coils, so on and so forth. Pretty simple. So let's get some of this crafted up. Okay, here we go. Now, this gives us 4, which is actually not so bad when we look at this quest thing, and so we're not going to worry about making too much more right now. But we want to put a power laser relay right there, and let's just put one right there to kind of give it an in-between spot. And we want our laser wrench now, which is 2 inner eye crystals and an advanced coil, so let's make that up real quick. And we only ever need one of those, so I'm not too worried about getting everything else there. So what we want to do, we just want to right-click on one of those, right-click on another one, and they should connect. And then over to here, and now this should be getting power, and it is. That's awesome. And so now everything around here should be running just fine. And along the path, and this should be working as hard as it can all the time. And so this is actually running quite slowly right now, this resonator, and it's going to start backing up really quickly based on how quickly this thing can smelt, because right now our basic cobblestone generator is going faster than our powered furnace can actually smelt the stone. And so unfortunately, we can't upgrade our powered furnace, but we can upgrade our resonator, because the resonator is going to be the other backlog. And so that is what we want to upgrade next. And so that can accept upgrades, and so we got our speed upgrade from Actual Editions, speed upgrade, not Actual Editions, from Extra Utilities. That is that thing right there. Pretty simple to put together. Just a golden pressure plate in the thing right there. Just being patient and waiting for it. There we go. Okay. And now we grab that out of there. And we need another block of redstone. And another piece of gold. And that makes us a speed upgrade. And since we have enough grid power for that, this will actually go... Oh, grid is overloaded. Okay, maybe we don't have enough grid power for that. Because, yeah, it's because of all these crafters right here. I'm pretty sure these take a little bit each, and so what we want to do in order to do this, we want another one of these set up, and so we are just going to make one more real quick, and that should solve the problem right here. Made one more speed upgrade just to, yeah, do it, and so now we're just going to finish this setup over here up by adding these 2 sides in, and now it should be going just fine, and this should now be keeping up about with everything else. And so this is, it's had a lot of time to backlog though, and so I'm not too worried about it, but the question is whether or not it's going about as fast as this, and so I think that it's going a little bit slower. And so this will still fill up, but I'm actually quite happy with how this has turned out right now. And it's being pumped out Stoneburn is being pumped out at a reasonable rate, and so I'm actually not sad at all about how this has turned out. This is great. Hey, Hey, check this out. Check out what I just figured out you could do. You can vein mine the grass. Check that out. Oh my goodness. That makes life a lot easier. Like, a lot easier for me. So, yeah, good stuff. But anyway, why do we want the stone burnt? We want it for a little bit of a fence. Right? That's about all I've said so far. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this, well, obviously, and this is the kind of the flat level that I want to do this, but we're going to do some more vertical building, if that makes sense. We're going to have like a tower or something in the middle. And so what we want to do is we want to mark out the area where we want this tower to be. And I want this to be kind of a bigger area because I also want a little bit of grass and other stuff around as well. But the idea is that somewhere like right in... let's just say right here is going to be the center, and then we're going to go out on pretty much equal in all the different sides, and we'll have a gate at in each cardinal direction. And the gate will be some sort of like entryway. I haven't figured out what we're going to do for the gates yet, but then there's going to be a diagonal fence running between each of the gates. And so that's what we're going to use the stone burnt for, is for the diagonal stuff. And so I'm going to count out the dimensions of where we want this vaguely to be, double check, triple check, and get back to you when I'm ready to start working on the fence a little bit. Show you what I'm up to. So this is about how big the area I want to do this in. However, if we want it to kind of all be mostly level, even if that means we have to build some support beams or other types of things around the outside to make it look a little more natural, because I don't want to do a ton of terraforming around here, because I really like how the ATG stuff looks. Like, it just looks superb. And so I'm not going to do an absolute ton of terraforming. I'm just going to kind of bring our little platform thing up to in level with everything else. And so that little area down over there is going to, at the very end, is going to go down, and a lot of this area is going to go up, and so on and so forth. So we have 7 wide gates at each of the cardinal directions, the diagonals between, and we need to get the rest of the stuff in place so that we can start considering building the fence. And so this is the level that we want stuff to be at, because that's, I don't know, just kind of where I started building, and so that's where it's going to be. And so it's Y135, that's where we want it. This is down into a mine, by the way. It's a climbing rope. Pretty cool. It's quite nice. Yeah, and so I'm going to start leveling this out a little bit and getting this diagonal all at one Y level so that we can start working on getting all of this in place. So, yeah. So here we are. We have the basic layout thing done right here for our fence. Oops, fall down. But this is the level that I want it to kind of start at, and I want our whole thing to be kind of generally flat around here. And so, now, there's not really a good way of getting mass quantities of dirt if you're looking in JEI. And so if we look in JEI right here, we can see that compressed dirt, well, yeah, that's not really a way of getting more dirt. Well, obviously it has EMC, but we're not even close to getting to that. So we're not going to worry too much about that. We can get it from a builder's bag. Nah, that's too much chance involved there. Metallurgic infuser, we can biofuel and sand. We don't even have a reasonable supply of sand, let alone supply biofuel, which is, you know, its own journey. And so we're not going to... the last thing, in-house byproduct, we don't have Yeah, no, I'm just, okay. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go around to somewhere that we care a little bit less about, and we'll come back and fill this in again. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go find some place we care a little bit less about. Give me a moment. And we're going to vein mine out a whole lot of dirt. Now you may be thinking, won't this just create a big hole in the ground? No, you are wrong, because grass is registered as a different block than dirt. Right? Right. So, actually, this is a perfect spot right here. Right here. And so that gives us an absolute ton of dirt to work with, and when we're ready to come back and get more, actually, you know what? We have more inventory space. We can... Awesome. And you can see, while that does leave a couple holes, like this one right here, and some other stuff like that, mostly it's just still covered up by the grass, and so, good stuff. We need some food. We have some food back at base. So let's head back there and start filling all this in. Aha! Builder's Wand complete. So that is for a very good reason, because we are going to be using this thing to help fill in this area with dirt. Yes, this is going to get maybe not all the way covered up. I probably will leave it open, at least for the moment, for the time being, because, yeah, it's kind of a utility spot for the moment, and so we will get around to moving that and just doing different stuff like that eventually. But we got some intermedium, glowstone, quintuple compressed netherrack, and some iron. That's some pretty good stuff. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So let's sort some stuff back out here, and so we're just going to start placing stuff down. And yeah, this is actually going to be a little bit difficult because, oh hey, that actually didn't work so bad. That could have been a lot worse. Hold up, wait, no, was that all of the dirt? Oh my goodness, wow, wait, hold up, no, oh wait, hold up. Part of that was really good. Part of that was really good. Like, all the way down and around over here, that's stuff that we wanted, but we didn't want necessarily that stuff out over here. And here we are. We have cleared out this entire area, filled in bits with dirt. Well, at least on the surface. I have filled in some of the creeper holes and stuff that were lying around and stuff. You can see on the map that we have this general area is all, you know, filled in, like I said was going to happen. And so we're about ready to start work on the wall, but I want to kind of show you a little bit about what's going on underneath still. Because, you know, there's still a lot to fill in, some stuff to fill in, terraform, etc. But we will fill this stuff in at some point in the future, because right now we are working on the wall. And so what I want to do with this wall right here is I want to put it up and diagonally kind of up like this, like pretty much the whole way up. And then at the top we'll have some spikes that will... like they'll kind of like spike off in different directions, and so like there'll be like every other one at the top. However, it won't just be too high. It'll be like 3 or 4 or 5 high before it starts to spike off at the top. And so we're yeah, and so we're just going to see if we can start work here on this wall and yeah, see what we can do. Actually, I figured that before I started on this, I would show what I'm going to be using to make this. And so these are the returning blocks of sticks. And so what I'm going to be doing is building with them kind of in place like this. And as we continue on and so forth, these will gradually return to my inventory and disappear from their spots over there. as we can see them doing bit by bit. And now I'm back up to all of them, and so I don't even have to worry about breaking them or any of that stuff, and so all I have to do is just piece of cake stuff like this. So yeah, that's what we are going to be doing for this. And so I actually have more than enough to be able to go on like this and not even worry about it. And all I've done is gotten a few from some loot bags, and so good stuff. Hey, hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I know I enjoyed putting it together. I always do enjoy putting together time lapses and stuff like that, and I thought it would be fun to put together that time lapse. And so, because you know, putting up the walls and stuff like that, it didn't actually take that long, especially since I have the returning blocks of sticks here. Somehow, I now have 10 instead of the 20-something I originally had. And so maybe they just disappear occasionally? I don't know. But yeah, that is, I also discovered that if you will place one of these down and then mine it back up, it turns into a regular block of sticks. So, yeah. The regular blocks of sticks are not quite so spectacular. Ooh. Did that just die? Did it just get destroyed? I thought normally they dropped as items. Maybe I'm just... Yeah, huh. Okay, so apparently sometimes they get destroyed. But that's honestly just fine. They're still, like, super handy to use, especially for something like this, where you don't necessarily want any extra blocks hanging around or stuff like that. And so this was... they were super duper nice in creating this, because otherwise I would have more than doubled my time spent at this because of the mining of the scaffolding blocks. So yeah, that was yeah, very, very, very much so liking that. I don't want this. Okay, there we go. So yeah, these are the walls. They're stone burnt. They're a little bit plain, and there isn't any light at the top of them yet. However, I don't necessarily want to put a lot of light around this area. What I want to do is I want to make the Torchmaster torches, these things, the mega torches, and put them in a couple places around the base here. To hopefully prevent mob spawning on top of any of this stuff over any of these walls. And so I'm not actually entirely sure what the radius is configured to on those, so we'll just have to see whether one will do or what, or you know, I honestly have no idea what that is going on with all of that. On this side, something's dying. Okay, so on this side, this hill, I think it comes out just a little bit too much, and so if we like trimmed off a little bit of this hill, that might be nice. And over here, this little hill area over here probably needs to be trimmed off a little bit too. As you can see, it comes up a little too high, and probably to around back in this general area. You can see there's a nice little line right here, and so yeah, good stuff. But those were things to come. We also need to figure out what on earth we're going to do for these gates on this side, and if we're going to like expand these walls out a little bit more to accommodate that, or what's going to happen as far as that goes. So you can see the walls kind of have like the little spikes on top of it to get it a little bit of a menacing look, but also kind of focus, they're angled outward in a way that makes you focus on whatever's on the inside of this right here. And it honestly looks absolutely spectacular on the map. I'm really happy with us. Oh, there are things over there. They're probably underneath though. Yeah, I ran out of torches while I was lighting everything up, and so we have some spiders and stuff under here that may, yeah, saw the skeleton that was chasing me on while I was building this wall segment over here. So, but yeah, things are going very well with how this base is going, but I think we're about ready to wrap things up for today. I think in the next episode we're going to see what we can do about the gates on the ends of this area and see what we want to do as far as those go. Maybe start a little bit of terraforming of this area over here, and maybe a bit of that area, some of the paths up and down to these areas on the... Hold up. I have an idea. What we're gonna do... There we are. This is the east gate. East gate. Dun, dun, dun. This is the south gate, which makes this the west gate, and this the north gate. So the east and west gates need a little bit of terraforming around them, especially this west gate. This west gate is going to be exciting to figure out what on earth we're going to do over here and on these walls and stuff around it, because they're overhanging by quite a bit, actually. And so on the east gate isn't going to be quite as bad, but there is going to be a little bit of work that goes in, especially on the northeast wall. You can see right around in here, the skeleton died because I'm assuming it suffocated in the wall. But yeah, you can see that we are going to need to do a bit of terraforming here. I'm not sure what we're going to do as far as this wall goes underneath, what's going to happen there. Or whether we're going to make this actually come out like a terraform, or whether we're going to add like some sort of an artificial like support barrier, continue the wall downward, or what's going to happen there. So we'll just have to see. I'm not too worried about that right now, but I want to continue making sure that we are going through the progression and looking at new things each episode, at least for the moment being. And so hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in another one. Take care. Bye.